share some of those diversification? I mean, you could share one on one with me on a separate call, but I am interested because we were talking about a
Yeah.
couple of ideas in the past. We are going to partner up on some things, but I just got my official letter of
Mhm.
accreditation, so I'm an official accredited investor. So now I can do all those cool deals that we were talking about a couple of years ago.
Huge.
So if you're willing to
Yeah,
share,
yeah.
on the air with all with our audience, or
Right now, I'll tell you, it's I'm personally more holding a little bit of cash and just watching. If a good deal comes up and the numbers look good, we might jump in. But right now, the next couple months, I'm just like stockpiling cash and waiting to see what happens because I think we are going to hit a point in some sectors and with some real estate, that we're seeing where people are just kind of upside down. There's going to be an opportunity to scoop more things up. So right now, for myself, I'm in a season of like put away cash, so that we're ready to like
mm,
scoop up more. Um, and then looking at just different companies, online companies, like we had talked about, like with Pure Want, just different things that are available and out there. To look at, okay, online retail, what are different tech companies, what are things that are don't really need much time, whether it's Cody Sanchez, if you haven't interviewed her, she's a phenomenal person, but the diversification she has with just like ice machines or car washes or this or that, and just really looking at what are things that are always needed, right? For myself, I'm looking at with our properties, with our real estate things we're doing there, what are all the different types of trades that we're constantly hiring and paying for? How can we acquire those companies and just own them, right? And some of those boring businesses that will be needed, and then that's those are things I'm looking at right now as well. And those are different businesses that you're always going to need plumbers if there's still houses. We're going to need HVAC, AC repairs. At least I foresee in the next couple
yeah.
decades. I don't know when robots will take
Mm,
over all that, but there's different things where these trades are needed, and a lot of the younger generations, grandkids, they don't want to do that. They want to just like be on YouTube or do other things. And so just that's a really great thing to look at too. Or what are some of the businesses that all these baby boomers built, and they're now retiring, and a lot of their kids or grandkids don't want to do those jobs. How can you scoop some of those up and be able to operate? And they already have clientele. They already have, so you're not starting a business from scratch. You're acquiring an established business and then, making tweaks to
mm.
level it up and
I
create more
definitely
profit.
asked Justin these questions on his episode. So, listener, go back to the episode with
Mhm.
Justin Donald because he gives like a blueprint on how he bought a mobile home park, doing the same strategy, how to buy a
Mhm.
business using similar strategies. So, listener, go back
Mhm.
doing that. Kathy, one question before I kick it to Biggs on this last thing is you are 36 weeks pregnant right now. Is that right? 37. So
37.
37 weeks pregnant with your second child, and talking about this idea of investing and also holding and this balance of being risk adverse versus being aggressive. And um, how do you or your women's group navigate that? I mean, how do you protect but also want to like invest at the same time? Like, I know that's a question that
Mhm.
Lindsay and I have asked each other as well. It's like we want to have the security or like the freedom, and also we want to be intelligent. So it's like, how are you dancing with that? I'm curious.
We in our group, there's definitely a lot of diversification with, there's the riskier, investments where whether it's, all of cryptocurrency, this, that, just stuff that there's so many
Mhm.
mixed thoughts on it, but I think it's a little bit riskier. You have, real estate that's risky, but also one of the just hundreds and hundreds of years you can look at
And
the
there's so
track
many other,
record.
so many
It's
elements
been one
of
of
real estate, like between Airbnb
yeah,
or,
and then
you
if
know,
I was just gonna say that real
yeah,
estate itself has grown so much, from whether it's mobile home parks, apartment
storage
complexes,
units, yeah,
single
everything.
family
Yeah.
homes, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, storage, yeah. But then also, I know that a lot of the ladies have been doing some private lending as well. And so right now, as they're saving cash, instead of keeping cash in a savings account, earning 1, 2, 3%, whatever you might find out there, it's not much higher than that, or CDs, saying, okay, here I have somebody, they have assets, it can, we can back this up. And so I'm going to do a private loan to a friend or here. And so people utilizing their Roth IRAs, different retirement accounts, and being able to loan to each other and grow and gaining, having 10 to 12% interest coming in that's like every month coming in, and it's secured and has
Mm,
something, some kind of the promissory note and some kind of guarantee, that they know like they are getting that back. And so that's a great way to hold money while still building wealth, because I lend out $100,000, I'm receiving at least an extra 12 grand that year. And if I lent that for 2 years, that's $24,000 I just received off that
yeah.
100 grand, right? Or more. And so just looking at diversifying like some of those safer bets, right? That we know like this is guaranteed, this is here on paper like this, and then here's a riskier. Maybe I have equity in it. It could go up, it could go down. We don't know what's going to happen. So, having a little bit of both. Like, are you a partner or are you a private lender? You can, mix your portfolio that way. I know that that's been something that a lot of our women and myself have done. And then if you do have, maybe you're somebody listening to this and you're already in the, 5 mil, 10 mil, 15 mil or more net worth, awesome. Then you can do both, right? You can be doing that private on a higher scale. You can still be making investments. I know some of our women that have really set themselves up. As I've asked during this, I'm newer in the last couple of years to like this space, right? And I've said, hey, what are you focusing on? And they're like, if I had under 10 mil, I'd just be like saving up cash. Since I have this, I'm doing that. Plus, I'm still keeping a lookout for those great deals, right? And
Mm.
partnerships and stuff that might be a little bit more secure. So just it depends how risk averse you are, right? Some people are like, screw it, right? But for those who want to be a little bit safe, diversifying in that
Yeah,
fashion.
that's great. Thanks for asking that
Yeah.
because I align fully. We had Chris Larson on the podcast. He talked about syndication deals and borrowing against your cash value life insurance. We had Justin Donald talk about lifestyle investment. Rachel Richards
Yep.
talking about passive income. So for you to double click on a lot of this stuff, it's all saying the same thing. It's like create a cash vehicle that your business makes you money, and then take that money and put it into a cash flow vehicle that creates more passive income to buy back your time. And it's just, man, it's so intelligent, but it's also not talked about enough amongst entrepreneurs to think this way. So really great. Thank you for sharing that.